In 2025, the genre of hip-hop is constantly bombarded with new music. It seems like every day a new album is announced, a new tour begins, and a brand new artist blows up. In fact, due to the accessibility of music nowadays, anyone can release an album from their basement. In 2022, Variety revealed that over 100,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify every single day, and this number is only increasing. The truth is, there is so much music out there that nobody could even begin to listen to all of it. Even full-time critics like Anthony Fantano don't have enough time to listen to every single artist with millions of streams. So, as avid music listeners, we have to thoughtfully pick and choose how we spend our time with music, and what songs deserve a spot on our playlists. On the other hand, artists have to go through a very similar process. They have to look at all of these songs they've created and decide which ones fit best into their upcoming album, as well as how many songs to select, the order of the tracks, and much, much more. Labels and musicians are aware that fans don't have all the time in the world, so they have to carefully select their best work and market it as well as possible. Or at least that's how it should be. Artists like Future dropped 3 full-length projects last year, and the worst example might be in 2015 when Gucci Mane released 85 projects. The truth is, many hip-hop artists today release too much music too often, which ends up being detrimental to their long-term success. Sometimes taking a break and being lazy is the best way to find growth. Kendrick Lamar is one of the best examples of an artist who knows when and how to release music. In 2017, Kendrick released Damn. While not being his most critically praised album, it managed to be a commercial monster, selling 600,000 units first week, and getting billions and billions of streams over the years. He quickly followed this success with a large number of contributions to the 2018 Black Panther soundtrack. Kendrick was on top of the world, but there was a problem. On track 3 of his 2022 album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick stated that he had developed a lust addiction, and
religion, right as black for 2 years, nothing moved me, ask God to speak through me, that's what you hear now, the voice of yours truly. These personal struggles clearly bled into his work as a musician, as he struggled with writer's block for 2 years, which was a leading factor in the 5-year gap between Damn and his 2022 album. But in my opinion, these personal struggles were a blessing in disguise, at least for his career. It allowed Kendrick to take a massive step back and rethink his approach to music moving forward, which ultimately left the rap community with some of the most interesting material of this decade. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was one of the most personal rap albums I've ever heard. Then we got the historical beef with Drake, which led to the most sinister diss I've ever heard in Meet the Grams. And finally, a fun album full of hits titled GNX. After taking his 5-year hiatus, Kendrick came back and proved he's still in his prime 15 years into his career, and I'm willing to bet his new perspectives that he gained from his personal struggles gave him the ability to be so successful these last few years. Kendrick is a prime example of how important taking a step back can be. While Playboi Carti is a very different person from Kendrick Lamar, they have both showcased similar approaches to their music, prioritizing their personal lives over their art and still finding massive commercial success. Carti first broke onto the scene in 2017 with his self-titled mixtape, which he quickly followed with 2018's Die Lit. Carti's sound brought unique vocal inflections and vibrant melodic beats together to create fun SoundCloud classics. Despite offering his unique perspective on the trap genre, Carti's music wasn't anything groundbreaking, so many fans believed he would continue dropping consistently like other SoundCloud rappers such as Trippie Redd, Lil Uzi Vert, and Juice WRLD. However, following the early 2018 release of Die Lit, Carti would take a direction far different from his peers. Due to many different factors, his next album didn't come out until the last week of 2020. When Whole Lotta Red finally saw the light of day, this period of 959 days between albums was exceptionally longer than expected, especially for an artist who was just beginning their rise in popularity. However, this patience or laziness or whatever you want to call it ultimately propelled Carti
way above his peers in popularity. People were confused and concerned how a rising star could just abandon his fan base. This made his core supporters even more loyal, and his limited catalog and few public appearances made him feel exclusive or rare. Once the album officially released on Christmas Day 2020, it was so unique to the trap genre that it sparked an insane amount of discussion. Some praised the album for pushing the envelope, while others hated this punk rock influence. Either way, his core fan base loved it, and it showcased Carti's ability to switch up his style, something that most rappers are afraid to do. Over the years, Whole Lotta Red became such a memorable moment in hip-hop that Carti's influence only grew over time. And by 2025, his next album, Music, was heavily anticipated despite having very little promotion. Carti would lay back, be lazy for a few years, and let his label do all the work, a topic that I discussed much further in my last video. Before we take a look at another artist who used laziness as a tool to success, I do want to highlight that taking a step back isn't always the answer, and in the case of Lil Uzi Vert, it was quite detrimental. Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti shared a lot of similarities when they rose to fame. Both became popular in the SoundCloud era, both had their unique takes on the trap genre, both shared similar fan bases, and they both used laziness after their initial rise to fame. Uzi took the world by storm from 2016 to 2017, and Carti from 17 to 18. However, it was no secret that Uzi was more popular at the time. His 2017 album, Love Is Rage 2, sold 135k copies first week, and Carti's 2018 Die Lit sold 61,000 in comparison. However, if you look today, these numbers are reversed. Uzi's 2024 album Eternal Take 2 sold 59k copies, while Carti's 2025 album Music sold 298,000. Well, how could this happen if both artists attempted to use laziness to their advantage? The key is innovation. Uzi's Eternal Take was nothing new or unique, just a batch of decent music that took 3 years to release, whereas Whole Lotta Red reinvented Carti as an artist. Even if you enjoyed Eternal Take more, it was significantly less interesting than Whole Lotta Red. When I talk about laziness being helpful to these artists, I don't literally mean not work on your craft for 3 to 5 years. I mean reinvent yourself, appear lazy to the public eye, and take a step back from all of it to reconsider your strategy. Eternal Take and the following 2 albums Uzi released in 2020 made it clear that he was lazy in the most standard definition, while Carti was redesigning his entire image. I will note that Uzi returned in 2023 with the Pink Tape, and while it had some moments of creativity, to me and many others, it felt too little, too late. And following his 2024 release of Eternal Take 2, Uzi's career is definitely slowing down, while Carti is at his commercial peak. Tyler, the Creator, is a prime example of an artist who has taken a step back and relaxed. From 2011 to 2021, Tyler absolutely grinded, releasing an album every 2 years, either in the spring or the summer. And what's even more impressive is he took an entirely different approach to his music for every single album, leading to arguably the most interesting artistic evolution in all of hip-hop. From wild lyrics to pop hits to very personal raps, Tyler's discography has it all. Following this period in 2021, most fans expected to receive a brand new experience in the summer of 23, but instead he released a short deluxe to his 2021 album, Call Me If You Get Lost. Tyler, unlike Carti, wanted to still provide something to his fans, even if he knew he wasn't ready to release an entire LP. These B-sides from 2021 were still enjoyable and helped build more anticipation for his next project, Chromacopia. Inspired by Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Tyler wanted to express his personal life more vividly.
The younger kids is like, what's up, bro? You good? We gotta cut the bull. Just start being super open and honest.
Yeah, be human.
And that's what Kendrick just did with his new album.
Yep.
And a lot of people, I think, they probably just don't like the music. I love that album. But I feel like he touches on that's so, open and honest that some people can't listen to it
To make Chromacopia, Tyler likely needed this extra time to navigate something he had never done to this level before, be super open and honest about his personal struggles, which is exactly what he did. Tyler crafted an album about his paranoia from fame, his commitment issues, his ancestral roots, his fear of aging, his relationship with his father, and much, much more, while still creating chart-topping hits like Sticky and Ratata. While Chromacopia may not be his best album, he clearly poured his heart and soul into it, and it was also his best-selling album in the first week with 300,000 sales. Tyler may have appeared lazy to his fans for ditching his bi-yearly release schedule, but as seen with all of these artists, being lazy to the public eye and taking extra time off to gain a new perspective or sort out new ideas is sometimes the best move you can make for your career. I will note that this lazy approach is not always the best way to succeed. Artists like Drake and Future can release multiple albums in a year while still being on top of the industry. However, I would argue that their influence would be the same, if not more, if they released half as much music. While Drake and Future have been successful in this approach, there are countless other artists who have been ruined by being too prolific. NBA YoungBoy and Yeat are prime examples of this. Since 2021, YoungBoy has released an insane 16 projects, and Yeat with 8. While both artists won't fall off anytime soon, they both have experienced a drop in numbers. It's clear that once the novelty wears off, fans aren't as willing to stick around. Unfortunately, both of these artists have led their fans to believe that they will continue to drop frequently, which makes it hard to go radio silent for a few years. On top of this, the laziness strategy only works if an artist does these two things. Their last project has to leave fans wanting more, and their next project has to be new and interesting, which could be possible in Yeat's case, but I feel is unlikely for NBA YoungBoy. Overall, it's important to understand that creating a moment is valuable, and sometimes the best way to market something is to leave it alone for a while and let anticipation build naturally. In your own life, remember that sometimes you can be a little lazier than you think you need to be. Allow your mind to disconnect and reconnect when you're ready. Just make sure you make a splash when you come back. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out my last video, The Genius Manipulation of Playboi Carti. And if you're still here, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.